What if everything we thought we knew about Star Wars, and even about the concepts of traditional religion, was upended? Could the Galactic Empire, usually painted as the embodiment of evil, instead represent a beacon of enlightenment, while the Jedi Order, often hailed as paragons of virtue, be the suppressors of spiritual truth? These are the provocative questions posed by the Gnostic interpretation of Star Wars, a viewpoint that not only reimagines the saga's key elements, but draws parallels with a transformative figure in Gnosticism, the Gnostic Christ, who transcends conventional religious boundaries. Take, for instance, the Jedi Order. In the conventional understanding, they are the champions of peace and justice. However, seen through a Gnostic prism, the Jedi appear as false authorities, imposing a strict dogma that stifles alternative spiritual enlightenment. They exercise their power to maintain dominance over the masses, endorsing a system of ignorance and servitude. They are not unlike religious institutions in Gnosticism, which were perceived as oppressive forces obscuring the path to authentic spiritual wisdom. This is where the Gnostic Christ enters the narrative, as a revolutionary figure challenging these orthodoxies. This interpretation could not only redefine our understanding of Star Wars, but also set the stage for a discussion that challenges traditional perspectives of Jesus and the origins of Christianity. Now let's flip the coin and cast our gaze on the Romans and the Jews from Judah. From a historical perspective, they are portrayed as the rebellion implicated in the persecution of Jesus. As demonstrated by the meticulous work of Finkelstein and Silberman, 2002, these groups exhibited a complex relationship with the early Christians that makes a mere villainous depiction an oversimplification. Thus, it's vital to understand their role in the context of the era. The Romans and Jews from Judah were not merely authoritarian rulers, but represented a group that pushed against the authority of the emerging Christian paradigm. As Friedman, 2017, notes, they challenged the orthodoxy, embracing esoteric knowledge that was beyond the conventional understanding of the time. In this light, they mirror Gnostic mystics, seeking a direct communion with the divine. But have you considered Jesus in a different light? The traditional story tells us that he is a king from the tribe of Judah. However, in an alternative interpretation as suggested by Tobolowsky in 2017 and 2022, Jesus is presented as a mystic and a king from the tribe of Joseph, not Judah. This presents a different perspective on his lineage. The tension between Jesus and the Jewish authorities of Judah might also have roots in this distinction. Just as religious authorities who persecuted Gnostic believers feared the disruptive influence of alternative spiritual paths, so too may have the Jewish authorities reacted with fear to this unconventional portrayal of Jesus. In the Gnostic interpretation, the dark side of the Force assumes an intriguing dimension. It's seen as the physical representation of the divine, that which is beyond human understanding and therefore inherently mysterious and transcendent. It defies conventional morality, standing apart from the dualistic concepts of good and evil. This interpretation has significant overlap with the Gnostic beliefs about Jesus. Gnosticism views Jesus not as a sacrificial figure destined to die for the sins of humanity, but as a teacher of spiritual knowledge. He is seen as a conduit of divine wisdom, who sought to enlighten mankind about the spiritual world. His teachings were in direct opposition to the tangible material world and the demiurge, the craftsman of the physical universe in Gnostic cosmology. This Gnostic perspective underlines the belief that Jesus was a beacon of profound knowledge, guiding humanity towards understanding the elusive and transcendental aspects of the universe, much like the dark side of the Force. Pondering on the interrelations between Christian mysticism, the ideas of Jesus, and the philosophies of Plato and Socrates, we can observe a profound bond. The transformation of water into wine by Jesus, often interpreted as a mere miracle, takes on a new meaning in this context. It metamorphoses into a metaphor for the elevation of mundane intelligence to spiritual enlightenment. This mirrors the principles of Christian mysticism, which advocate for the transformation of the soul from a state of ignorance to a state of spiritual awareness. Drawing upon the philosophies of Socrates and Plato, we can see parallels with this concept. just as the Death Star, typically seen as a symbol of oppression and dictatorship, is reimagined as a representation of the quest for enlightenment and transcendence. The Socratic method of questioning and Plato's theory of forms likewise urge individuals to transcend beyond the tangible and the conventional. They represent the potential for each person to liberate themselves from the shackles of accepted belief systems and carve out their own spiritual journey. In this radical Gnostic interpretation, Star Wars takes on an unexpected challenge to the traditional narrative of the 12 tribes of Israel. It is suggested that the narrative's resemblance to Jesus' affiliation with the tribe of Joseph represents a non-Catholic viewpoint. Wright 2023, Tobolowsky 2022. This storyline invites viewers to question the nature of reality, power, and enlightenment. It provokes a deep exploration of spiritual themes and calls upon individuals to embark on their own journey of self-discovery and liberation from conventional religious beliefs. So, the next time you delve into the pages of the Bible, consider this. Viewed through a Gnostic lens, might it not offer an alternative, coherent history of Scripture and its origins? What if it's not just a narrative of morality and divine command, but also a tale of hidden knowledge versus orthodox interpretation, divine spark versus religious dogma? It's a perspective that turns the Bible from just a canonical text into an extraordinary exploration of hidden history and spiritual truth. This hypothesis, supported by academics such as Baden 2012 and Schmid 2010, challenges typical theological interpretations and prompts a profound reconsideration of the biblical narrative.